we're going to see, truthfully, how good of a coach Ty Lue is. And he's a very good coach. He's a very good coach. But he has a roster with constraints.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast, the authentic voice of sports leadership, where coaching wisdom meets real talk. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and on today's Wind Up Wednesday edition, we get to talk about dealing with preseason challenges, the NBA developing a league in Europe, and the semifinals of the WNBA Playoffs. With us today, the coach's coach, Albert Johnson, and our international correspondent, Coach Francois, Coach FD. Gentlemen, the NBA calendar is upon us. It's about to be the start of the season. And next week, NBA training camps will open. Media will be there. This week, teams that are playing in the overseas games are getting ready to start. But the big date is October 20th. And the reason why that's the big date is that is roster day. Rosters are set for the opening day at 5 p.m. that day. And we've got two teams, gentlemen, that are dealing with preseason challenges. I want to start off with the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard is now a full-blown 911 distraction. Since 2019, the Clippers have faced two separate lawsuits alleging tampering violations that involve Kawhi Leonard, one of which remains ongoing. You also got the problem of the roster itself. The Clippers aren't very good. So you got 40-year-old Chris Paul on the team now. You added Bradley Beal, who's 32, and let's just say he hasn't done a very good job of making himself good. You re-signed 36-year-old James Harden, and he and defense never got along anyway, and you got him on a 2-year deal. You added John Collins, and Coach Johnson, they added Brook Lopez to strengthen the front court. So if you're the Clippers, as you're preparing for the season, with all of the things that you're doing, what are you thinking about?
Well, truth of the matter, when you talk about their roster in names is pretty good. But in actuality, you're talking about a group of older guys who, like you admitted, they're not going to be great defensively. The shadow of what's going on with Kawhi is going to linger because they have serious problems with this. Again, he has 2 rings for sure, correct? Is it 2 or 3?
He's got 2.
He has
He's got
2.
one in San Antonio, one in Toronto.
Correct. And people sold their soul trying to get him. They sold their soul. He wanted demand after demand after demand. And sometimes we all know that with certain demands, there come underhanded deals. Deals that are generally kept quiet because you're thinking at the end of the day, you're getting your guy. Well, it's coming to light right now. We're going to see, truthfully, how good of a coach Ty Lue is. And he's a very good coach. He's a very good coach. But he has a roster with constraints. I don't see them in the top 5 for sure in the Western Division. I think they are 6 to maybe play in, but I do not see them in the top 5.
Okay. FD, both you and Coach Johnson are currently coaching, and you're actually in season. When you see the situation that the Clippers are dealing with Kawhi, as well as the roster they are putting together, what are you doing if you're the Clippers?
Yeah, it's very, very difficult, because you're in a situation where, you don't have a lot of opportunity to develop the team, and to build this roster in the Western Conference is very difficult. But I agree with Coach Alfred. Ty is a very good coach, maybe one of the best in the NBA. But when you see the organization of the roster, there's no innovation. It's not like you say, okay, this team is gonna be better from last year, and you say, okay, this team, they adding Chris Paul, they have Chris Paul, James Harden, a little bit older. So not very good defender at this time. Chris Paul was a terrific defender, but now they are very old. So they added Bradley Beal. He did not play well with the Phoenix
Phoenix
Suns.
Suns.
Yeah, so there's so many questions in this team to say, okay, this team can be a good team, And like I said, there's only one ball. You have James Harden, you have Bradley Beal. They need the ball to be efficient. And when Bradley Beal is a very great player, but when he was playing with the Suns, on my point of view, it was a big deal because you have Kevin Durant, you have Devin Booker, you have Bradley Beal. He need the ball to be efficient, and I think it's going to be the same problem with the Clippers because James Harden is a player who has the ball. He's the man in the team. Kawhi can play without the ball, but Bradley Beal need the ball. Chris Paul need less, but need the ball, and I think it's gonna be. And the Clippers has already done that. They did that 2 years ago with Paul George, James Harden. So it's like the same thing starting with different player on my point of view. So I don't see them doing a very good season. I think it's gonna be a huge season for them. And Tyler is a great coach. He's gonna do a great job. But the roster, on my point of view, is not well organized, and they could have done a better job.
Yeah. So let me wrap up with the Clippers before we move on to the Warriors. One, I'm not mad at Kawhi Leonard. It is your job to say no. I should ask for the moon. I'm going to ask for
Right.
anything I can get. And if you
Correct.
want to give me $28 million for not working, man, that's the American dream. We all want free fries. That's the joke I always say.
Mhm.
Don't come with your sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost when everybody's got free fries when somebody worked behind the counter. So if I get some free fries, I'm gonna I'm gonna get some free fries. I'm gonna get a discount. But you've got to say no. And we've all coached really talented players that can be a little moody, can be a little this, can be a little that. So Clippers did this to themselves, so I don't feel bad for them. And young legs run free, and your legs aren't free and young. So you're going to have a challenging year with all of this. So we're going to go with that. And moving forward, Coach Johnson, I'm going to come back to you. The Golden State Warriors have a Jonathan Kuminga problem. So Jonathan Kuminga is a talented young player. He is
Yes, he is.
talented.
Yes,
And
he is.
since he has been with Golden State, quite frankly, in Coach Adams' opinion, he hasn't been valued and he hasn't been invested in because you curry favor, unintended, to your veterans. So whenever you're in a locker room, and Coach Johnson can tell you, seniors aren't freshmen. Freshmen got too much noise, too much this, and the seniors are just trying to win titles. And that gap is only 3, 4. And then these days, a college coach, 5. So think about it from a professional standpoint when you've got Jonathan Kuminga at such a young age with grown men with families. Uh, what are you going to do with that? Plus, coach, the Warriors don't even have a full roster 1 month heading into the season and 1 week heading into training camp. If you're the Warriors, what are you doing?
Well, they have a tremendous problem. Again, when you talk about Jonathan, he is a talent. He's a very good talent, but he's in a locker room again, like you said, with grown men who have won. They do not want to wait. They do not want to wait.
Mhm.
So, for example, when they traded for Jimmy Butler, again, they're talking about wanting to win immediately with older guys. So they thought they could shelve him, take him off when they needed him and so forth. And he's saying no. Then you got guys like Draymond who's trying to, I don't want to say mentor him because he doesn't really do that. He talks down to a guy.
Yeah, you
You got
saw
to be
the
ready.
last guy he mentored is
That's exactly right.
had a
When we
problem.
need you, you got to be ready, this and that. But they need that kid nightly because of his youth, his athletic ability, and the fact that he can play. So again, they should have tried to trade him. I know we hear about they tried, but they didn't really try. They didn't really try. But then on top of all of that, You got a head coach who prefer coaching older guys. He
And there's
prefers.
nothing
There's
wrong with
nothing.
that, by the
Listen,
way.
there's nothing wrong with that at all. I understand that as a coach. As a college coach, I happen to prefer transfers and JUCOs. When you get older guys, they are ready about business. Your younger guys, I'm not saying at the NBA level, I'm not familiar with that, but at the college level, for example, they want to be new man on campus. They want to find girls. They want to do all the little stuff. And then by the time they're juniors, they have settled in mentally. They're ready to get their books and play. Well, in Kuminga's situation, again, he's a younger guy. He's in the limelight. You know, he's ready to mingle as well as play basketball. These other guys got families to go home to. They're not carrying on after practice. They're not going clubbing and so forth. They got wives come looking for them. So again, they should have tried to trade the young man when the opportunity was available.
Yeah. FD, again, from your perspective, who also fans, Coach FD, he develops young players. That's his job right now.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking about the Warrior situation with Jonathan Kuminga?
Yeah, I think it's a very unique situation because Jonathan Kuminga, he's when you're a young player and you start playing with, like Coach Alfred say, with older player, with player that has won. There's no space for mistake. You have to be very good and very efficient. And so it is very difficult to develop yourself if you cannot do mistake, if you cannot try. But Kuminga has a very huge career because he's growing up. And I think that he's now at this time that his time is coming. His time is maybe
Mm-hmm.
this year or the 2, 3 years coming. And like Coach Alfred said, the Warriors should have traded him. But his value is very good. 15 points, 3 rebound. He's very efficient in playoffs. So but I think this they also think about, the next step after Curry. So you cannot leave a player like that. And I think on my point of view that the Warriors could be a good team because they have many type of player. They have older player with experience. They have also young player like Kuminga. And they have to find the balance because when you play this season, a full season, you need to have young player to play mini game because all the player can rest. And I think for Kuminga, it's also a good opportunity to be with those Jimmy Butler, those guys that some win culture with Damon Green to keep learning about, how we can learn to be a leader, a better leader in this league. Yeah,
All right. So, FD, I'm going to stop you because I'm smiling. People tell you how they feel about you, not by their words, but by their actions.
That is so
They have
true.
treated this young man like an afterthought, and he is a forethought. And when you talk, and again, with love, sincerity, and deepest respect, this is a no bump conversation. What does Jimmy want? How has Jimmy left each organization? I kind of don't want to learn that way. I don't want to blow things up.
He,
So if the Warriors want to do business the right way, which you do not have to do, the relationship's already frazzled. The relationship's already gone.
yes.
You've already declared who you cared about. And now that they're about to leave, you call me up. No, thank you. So if I'm advising Jonathan Kuminga, I'm going to say,
Mm-hmm.
take whatever you can take to get out on your call. So I
Yes.
would sign the 1 year, take less money, and be unrestricted. And then you can tell me financially how you really feel about me. And I can also see what other people think about. And I know some people are going to say, well, the first apron and the second apron and the third apron. No, somebody's going to give you money.
Yes, they are.
There's always somebody. I don't need 7 teams to give me money. I only need one.
Yeah.
I
That's
only
exactly
need
right.
one team to give me
That's
money.
exactly right.
So, hey, kid, hold your ground, stay firm, don't blink, and you'll see if they care about you by what they offer you. And that's the business. But as we close this segment, Coach Johnson, any advice for preseason prep? Because you're about to head into preseason. The NBA is about to head into preseason. College is about to head into preseason. give our coaching audience and players some advice as we close segment one.
The first thing in any organization, when you're talking about success in terms of beginning the year, you need chemistry. You need total buy-in. You need guys who feel that, again, as you mentioned, have their collective best interests at heart. We're in this together. On any organization, any team, the season is long. Guys are together. They need to trust each other. So the first thing I'm thinking about with beginning is team chemistry. Explaining to guys whose role is what. And in my situation, for example, I have a 6'10" wing who is extremely good. One of my newer guys said to me, well, coach, is he a 5? Son, no. Skill-wise, he's a wing. Again, he just happens to be 6'10", but he's better than anyone else we got. So don't get it confused because he's 6'10", which you're used to in terms of being a 5. So again, I talk about chemistry, buy-in, and then again, with new teams, you want to talk about conditioning. You want to be clear to them how you want to play, respect of each other, and it's respect of their surroundings. I tell my guys all the time, I'm not getting a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning because you decide to stick up 7-Eleven. Right? That's one way to get sent home. So again, we want young men who understands what's at stake. They are in college to graduate, play basketball, and be a good citizen on a college campus.
All right. So, fans, in segment two, we're going to talk about the NBA going to Europe. The relationship is getting solid. We're going to have our international correspondent provide us some insight as well. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
Today's student athletes face pro-level challenges without pro-level support. The CKA SAVE project is here to change that. For 16 plus years, Dr. Keith Adams and his team have provided comprehensive academic and athletic support from middle school through post-graduation transitions. NIL guidance, transfer portal navigation, academic coaching, career planning, they've got it covered. The CKA SAVE project. When your future is on the line, experience matters. Learn more at www.ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment two. Adam Silver says the new European League could start in 2027 or 2028. So let's give you some information. A new basketball league based in Europe that both the NBA and FIBA are working together to launch could begin play 2027 or 2028, though no timeline has been finalized. Speaking at a conference hosted by Front Office Sports, Adam Silver called the 2027 date an ambitious start. I think it would be ambitious as well. And I think 2028, in my opinion, would be better because it's an Olympic year, Summer Olympics, that is. The NBA and FIBA, the sport's global governing body, announced plans in March to pursue a new European league, ending years of speculation. Silver said he and Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum has had positive meetings with political leaders. So let's give you a little bit more information. How many teams are we talking about? Probably about 16, according to reports. Existing European clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona are likely figured to enter these plans. And think about this, folks. About 1 in 6 current players in the NBA are European, including Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, and Victor Wembanyama. FD, I'm going to start off with you. Man, what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, it is a very good news. And, NBA in Europe, they're talking about that since, 2, 3 years. My only question is that there's right now a league in Europe called Euro League. And I'm very mad because NBA and EuroLeague cannot, find a way to work together. Because what the NBA with FIBA is gonna do is gonna, start from scratch with new team, in beautiful city like London, Madrid, Rome. But in this city, there's not much basketball history like you will have in, Belgrade, Partizan Belgrade. Those team has more history. And I think this is my biggest my biggest mess on that. But it's a good news for basketball in Europe because NBA know how to make basketball valuable. And now right now Euro League is not valuable. So team are losing money. So and I think if they continue like that, it cannot work for a long time. So I think NBA will be great, but might just find a way to work with Euro League and have those teams with culture, history, and bring that to NBA Europe.
Yeah. So from a business standpoint, this reminds me of the WNBA in terms of in the beginning, the NBA is propping it up. The NBA's continue to prop it up, but they've got more money than these EuroLeague teams. And in professional wrestling, we used to have what are called the territories, where in the Northeast it was the WWF, in the South they had the NWA, and in the Midwest. And as Vince McMahon started buying up territories, the other territories tried to get together, but there was too much backbiting, too much fighting, too much deception, too much of this. And the WWE now was able to take over. So this is kind of what I'm seeing with the NBA. Let's get in with some established organizations and then put in our foot and now make it what we want to make it because the dollars are going to decide. Coach Johnson, any thoughts about the NBA going in Europe before I vent about how we're watching the NBA these days?
Well, what I'm trying to understand is the competition for players. Am I to understand that even with the NBA European teams now, NBA players will have a choice to be stateside or go to Europe?
All of this is wide open.
Okay. It's going to be interesting because now you could have some foreign guys deciding, I want to stay home.
Yes, you could.
You could, because right now the NBA is blessed with some talented European players because this is the place to be. The NBA is the place to be. Now, if you say NBA Europe, guys don't have to leave home.
Yeah. Hey, Francois, I do want to ask Francois this. So one of the things that comes up with me, and I need you to help me clear this up, with the EuroLeague teams, they have a cap on how many foreign players. Is that correct?
Yes.
So this league could possibly get rid of that. Yeah. And now, as Coach Johnson said, we can have player after player after player. NBA obviously is the place to be because of money, but hey, secondary money is better than no money. Ask John Oates. So
that's exactly right. And now you're talking about two leagues with between 12 to 15 players. That opens up more job opportunities, job opportunities, and more longevity in terms of careers. And listen, some guys middle age been playing a while and see a chance to continue playing and even, treat his family to a different lifestyle for a while. That's intriguing.
And that's the MLS model. Bring Messi over when he's 38.
Yes.
You all are buying pink jerseys. Hey, I'm a school teacher. I see pink jerseys all over the place.
Yes, we
do. He's not that messy, but he's better than what we got.
He's still pretty good.
And if Steph wants to play till 50, let him go over to Barcelona. Aisha can bake those pies and cookies or whatever because she's doing the cooking network. She's doing the cooking network stuff or whatever.
Right.
And extend man. Again, we're just talking out loud. As Robert says, we're just some guys in the podcast. But I can see, I'm not blind. I can see where this could go. But I digress. All right, fans, in segment 3, we're going to talk about the WNBA semifinals. And we've got a MVP that we need to talk about. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here. And for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CK Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast, and in segment 3, let's get to this. The WNBA playoffs have reached the semifinals. Games are starting today as we tape. So we've got the Aces and the Fever in one series, and we've got the Lynx and the Mercury in the other series. So let's get to it. Francois, I'm going to start with you. Minnesota versus Phoenix. Who you got? What do you think?
Like I said you last week, I'm gonna with the Lynx. I think that they had a terrific season, and it's very difficult to be favorite and win. I saw that in your basket, but I think now they are very good and they're gonna be better for this series.
All right, Coach, what about you? You
I
got
have
the
Minnesota.
Lynx? Okay, you got the
I have
Minnesota Lynx.
Minnesota.
Okay.
Minnesota has been the top team all year, but they do have a very good roster. They have a group of players who understand the pecking order in terms of their roles, and I think that has made their season memorable. And I look for them to be in the championship versus the Aces.
All right. So, Coach, you've got the Aces over the Fever.
Yes.
Francois, what about you? You got the Aces over the Fever too?
Definitely, where you have Edge Wilson, she is terrific. So I think it is gonna be the favorite.
Well, look, I do think the Aces are going to win, but I'm so proud of the Fever. And the reason why I'm proud of the Fever is
Yes.
that the
Yes.
ball is being shared. Now, again, this is a no bum conversation. But as somebody who has coached some really talented players with really big personalities, I think by not having Caitlin play, somebody like Aaliyah Boston, who is uber talented, and if she was on any other team, she would be the focal point. Part of
Mhm.
why I think they got past their opponent in the first round is because she's getting more time, she's getting more touches, and she's a dominant player. So I don't think it's going to be as easy. I think the Fever can get a win or two out of there. But when you've got the aces rolling, it's going to be pretty special. And speaking of the Aces, it's NBA WNBA award season. A lot of awards have been given out. A lot of awards still to come. But Coach Johnson, I think we got an MVP. Any thoughts on the MVP?
Yes. I know that Collier had a great year. But I do think they got it right. I think Asia, especially, I mean, she's played well all season, but after that terrible loss they had, where they were embarrassed by I think losing by 50
Mm-hmm.
plus points, she's been on a unbelievable individual tear, and I think she is deserving of the MVP. She is the first WNBA player to win the award 4 times, and she surpassed some great players who won it 3 times. But, and I don't think she's finished. I don't think she is finished. She is truly still in her prime, and she does it all. So I think she's deserving of the MVP, and congratulations to her.
All right. So as we close, I want to give kudos to the NBA and the WNBA. 2 years after being the first NBA team to abandon the regional television
Yes.
partnership, the Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury are celebrating proof of concept that the new local media rights can replace this. And what we mean by that is the Suns and the Mercury have signed a 2 year extension to broadcast their games. Wait for it, for free over the on air channels in the Arizona area. And I say this with a smile because Dr. Adams is close to being priced out of the market. What do I mean by that? I pay for XM radio. I'm on the road all the time, and I like the various channels of XM. I have a Netflix subscription because I'm watching Raw and they've got good documentaries. And when you're doing a lot of work, in my house, my TV's right there. I have Amazon because my wife orders stuff. And at first, I'm like, man, you're ordering too much stuff. And now I can watch Thursday Night Football. Great. I have Peacock because I used to watch WWE PLEs on Peacock. And now that the NBA is going to be on it, I'm going to keep that. In terms of doing things strictly for entertainment purposes only, I have Visa, Vegas Sports and Information Network. I think they do a very good job. And I have CBS Sportsline, which I think gives me Paramount, but I'm not watching that much stuff on my phone. So now the ESPN new package, which is like $30 a month, has NBA TV. I mean, it has the NBA games, not NBA, college football games, has WWE PLEs, and then you got red zone. It's just too much. So I am officially priced out of the market. So when I hear that Phoenix is allowing their product to be seen clean over the air, that's how you build up the next generation of fans, because the sports experience is killing me. Can't go to a football game, can't afford it. Can't go
Mm-hmm.
to a basketball game, can't afford it. Damn sure can't go to a wrestling match. I mean, TKO I mean, my bucket list is the Royal Rumble, and I'm not going to Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble. I've been to a WrestleMania, but I'd like to take my son to one. But man, I can't go. It's too much. So thank you to, again, Phoenix, the Sons of the Mercury, for something free, because nothing is free anymore. So on behalf of our cavalcade of stars, thank you for letting me get that vent out. I am Dr. Keith Adams, saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, the authentic voice of sports leadership, where coaching wisdom meets real talk. Also seen on the Cascade Sports Network. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on the X platform at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Keith Adams and the CKA Save Project on social media at CKA Save Project. For more information about the CKA Save Project, visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.